Welcome back to GNSA and our weekly updates. My name is Gary Butcher and I'd like to welcome you and start you off this week with our real estate side of the business with GNSA Real Estate. And this week we're going to talk about the 12 steps for purchasing a house. Starting off with step 1, you need to get a credit check. So you want to contact us here at GNSA and we will help you get your credit check. We can do what's called a soft pull, which basically doesn't affect your credit report. It will not affect your credit score. We don't have to use your social security number, but we will get all of that basic information so that when we actually do a full credit application, we have everything all ready to go. But we don't need to get all that information to do a credit check. And then we want to get a pre-approval so that when we do find a house, we are ready to go. Step number 2, of course, is to find a realtor, someone that's going to help you find a house. And of course, we at GNSA Real Estate are looking forward to helping you find your next dream home or your next house. Step number 3 is to begin searching online. There are lots of different sites that you can use as a customer, somebody that is looking for a house. We can talk about those recommendations, and we can also set you up with a daily, everything that comes out new on a daily basis that meets your number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, and of course it's in your price range. So once we get the pre-approval, we'll know exactly what you're going to be looking for, and we can start looking in your area, and I can set that up for you. And it's really awesome. You get a daily email which tells you everything that's new that's been listed during that time frame. You'll get a daily update with everything that's been newly listed within the last 24 hours, as well as price changes or anything that has changed over the last 24 hours. Which then takes us on to step number 4, you find the perfect home. In order to find a perfect home, you want to send your listings that you have looked at and things that you want to see, or houses that you want to see, and then what we'll do is we'll set up what's called a showing time. I contact the selling realtor and set up a showing time, and then we go out to the house and we look at it and see that that is the house that's going to work for you. Once you find that perfect house, we move on to step number 5, which is we make an offer. So we have a pre-approval in hand and we can make an offer. When we do make an offer, we need to make sure that you have your earnest deposit in, and we'll talk about that. But we do have to have an earnest deposit so we can say to the selling realtor, this is what we have. We have the pre-approval, we have the earnest money, and this is the offer that we're going to be making. And that is how we get an offer accepted. If you haven't already done so, which most likely when you do a pre-approval, we will start to get your application ready for the loan, and we also get all of your documents prepared. But by this point, we're going to need to get your full application prepared and ready to send into underwriting. And then once we find the house, we can have you hit the ground running and have a lot of the stuff already taken care of. While we're getting the loan application completed and signed and getting all the documentation sent into underwriting, we're going to order the home inspection. You definitely want to have a home inspection done. That is step number 7, and you want to make sure that the house is in good working condition. And if you want to know if there are any issues, you want to make sure that you know what those are before you move in on closing day. So you want to have a home inspection done just as peace of mind. And if there are some issues, you might want to make sure we get a home warranty that includes, and we can talk about the home warranties as well. There's typically a good 1-year warranty that we can get added in as part of the offer. Step number 8, of course, is ordering the appraisal. Now your lender is going to take care of that, or we will take care of that for you. We'll order the appraisal for you, and then once that is done, that will get sent into the final underwriting. Once everything is sent into final underwriting, we move on to step number 9, which is the final approval. Once we get the final approval, you're going to have a 3-day rescission where you're looking at the papers and going over all of the numbers, and then we are going to do number 10 is the final walkthrough. You want to make sure that we do a final walkthrough. We've had in the past occasions where customers will go on a final walkthrough and they're going to see that the former selling customer has trashed the house or they've left things there, and the things that need to be taken care of prior to you moving in on closing day. So we want to make sure we do a final walkthrough at least a day or 2 prior to the closing. That brings us to step number 11, which is closing day, and that is the most exciting day of the year, where you're going to actually go into the title office, sign all of your paperwork. The seller's going to be there, you're going to be there, everybody's going to get together, and we can kind of talk about tips and tricks of the house, things that, little quirks that you might need to know when you actually move into the house. And it's a fun day. go in and close and get everything taken care of, which then moves us on to step number 12, and that is moving day, which you can either do it at the day of closing or sometimes it's later after that. Depends on when closing day is, but that is the most exciting day of the year, and that is moving day. That basically rounds out the 12 steps to buying a house. On the mortgage side of the business, just wanted to let you know that Sally has finished her first week of training, and she will be finishing up her training probably by the end of this week or early next week, and then taking the test next week so that she can be a licensed loan officer starting with us when we get back from the Caribbean. Now, this week for a mortgage side, we want to talk about the 10 steps to buying a house. And the first step, of course, is getting your credit check. It's very similar to the buying side of the real estate, and the mortgage side is very similar. It's just different papers, different work. But step number 1 is to get a credit check. We'll do that for you. Step number 2 is determine the type of loan that you're going to be getting. There are 4 basic types of loans that we can do. The VA for veterans. We have the FHA if you're going to do a lower down payment, probably is 3.5% down is typical. And then you're also going to have the conventional loans. Once we determine the right type of loan, we will complete the loan application, make sure we get all the signatures, that we can have that all set and ready to go into underwriting. Once the application is complete, we'll go on to step number 4, which we will order the appraisal and title. And then when the appraisal and title are completed, step number 5 is to submit all of the paperwork to the underwriter, which will include the appraisal and the title. Steps number 6 is meeting all of the approval conditions. The underwriter is going to take a look at all of the documents that have been sent in. They're going to take a look at the appraisal, and they're going to take a look at the title. And then if there's anything that needs to be finalized, we will get what's called conditions sheet. And then when those conditions are provided for us, we will let you know, and then we will get all of those final conditions completed and sent into underwriting. Once we get all of the conditions met, we will go on to step number 7, and that's when we will lock the loan and lock the interest rate. And then moving on to step number 8, which is the clear to close. And once we get to clear to close, we're going to get all the paperwork to you, and that's step number 9, and that's where you get the opportunity to review all of the paperwork, all of the documents. You're going to know what your interest rate is going to be. You're going to know what your amount is that you're going to need to bring in for your cashier's check for closing. And basically everything is going to be presented to you, and you're going to have 3 days to review it before you get in for the final day, which is number 10, and that is closing day. And on closing day, that's when you sign all the paperwork and everybody's happy and you get to move into your new home. And that's it for mortgage for this week. On the travel side of the business, we just wanted to let you know there's some sad news, bad news going on out in the Caribbean. You've probably heard about Puerto Rico being hit with earthquake after earthquake. They've had tremors, they've had aftershocks, and they've been just suffering for the last 2 weeks. And it has been in the news, and it's very sad, and we're very sorry to hear about that. Just send all of our prayers to the people living in Puerto Rico and having to deal with this terrible, terrible situation. Also wanted to let you know that we are going to be traveling to Puerto Rico in a couple weeks when we do our cruise in the Caribbean. Puerto Rico will be our last port of call, or pretty close to the end. We will be traveling to Puerto Rico, and I will get some pictures and some videos and get an update for you as far as how Puerto Rico is dealing with the earthquake situation following all of the tragedy that they had during the hurricane just a couple of years ago. You know, Puerto Rico's really had a tough couple of years dealing with storms and weather and earthquakes and just all the turmoil that has been going on in Puerto Rico. But they are strong people. They are amazing, and I'll tell you what, I want to share some of the pictures and videos that we do get when we are there, because you'll be surprised at how well they handle the situation. But we'll keep you updated on that. And also want to let you know we are going to be heading back to Universal Studios. We're leaving on the 27th of January, and we're going to be down in Jacksonville, and then we're going to be heading down to Orlando to pick up Hayden and Haley at the airport, and they are going to be meeting us, or we're going to meet Hayden and Haley at the airport, and then we're going to be going to Universal Studios and City Walk and Islands Adventure, and we're going to do some more videos for you. We're going to get a lot of additional information. Some of the information that we did get this week it is good news, but it's bad news. The bad news is probably September. We don't know for sure when it's going to be, but we do know that the Mummy is going to be going down for refurbishment, and they're going to basically tear it all down and then rebuild it back up again, kind of like what they did with the Hulk. Typically when a roller coaster reaches a certain age, they need to redo it to make sure that it is running and functioning the way it should. So bad news is it's going to be down for probably 6 months, but the good news is we're going to be there in January, and we are going to be able to ride it as many times as possible and enjoy it while it's still there. And then we'll look forward to being sad, of course, for the 6-month period that it's down. But it'll come back much better than it is right now. In addition, some good news that's going on. The Hagrid's motorbike ride has always typically been long waits. You're looking at a short wait time was 60 minutes. Typical was 90 minutes, and most of the time you're 120 to, basically 2 hours to 3 hours was the wait times, and it was breaking down constantly. They have now added additional trains and are actually running pretty close to full capacity, so the wait times have reduced. Now we're going to let you know for sure when we're down there what the wait times are, but what we have heard is it is actually improving, and they're running more trains, they're running at full capacity, and the wait times have reduced significantly. So I hope that continues, and we're going to be there and let you know how it goes. In addition, we are still working on our fun run cruise, and I did meet with Chantel Shea yesterday, and she's going to be coming in again this week, and we're going to do some promotional videos, and she's going to kind of share with you some of her thoughts, some of the things that she's planning on, and some of the excitement that is going to be happening on the Fun Run Cruise. So you want to make sure you check in our next videos. Make sure you click on the subscribe button. Make sure you click on the bell notification so that you'll know when our next videos are coming out. As we close out this week, I'd like to again thank our sponsors: GNSA Real Estate, GNSA Travel, GNSA Event Management International, Chantel Shea, the Butcher family, and also let you know if you do want to sponsor the Fun Run Cruise for 2020 as well as events we're going to be doing in 2021, please let me know, and I will give you all the details on what we can do to help you out as a sponsor as you help us out with all of our financing and funding for the events that we're going to be doing in 2020 and 2021. Until next week, memories last a lifetime, and the best part about memories is making them. Contact GNSA and let us help you build a lifetime of memories. See you next time.